Hello, good morning, dear students. So, today we are going to start with volumetric analysis, which is the part of an analytical chemistry, actually, children. So, I guess we have discussed about volumetric titrations in the laboratory also, but this is just a general review, okay, for you people. So you can see here volumetric analysis or titrimetric analysis is the determination of volume of solution of accurately known concentration required to react completely with the solution or substance to be determined. So children, here in this case, volumetric or titrimetric analysis is the determination of volume of the solution of accurately known concentration. Now suppose in the titration part, if we are reacting two substances, out of which one of the substance concentration is known to you and the other substance concentration is unknown to you, so you can find out the volume of the substance whose concentration is known to you along with the concentration of the unknown substance. Are you getting? Okay, now here we have types of volumetric analysis, children. So we have actually four types of volumetric analysis. You can see here in the screen. It is first is acid base titration, then we have complexometric titration, we have reduction oxidation titration, then we have precipitation type of titration. Now in class 12th, children, we are going to deal with only the redox titration, that is reduction oxidation type of titration. Now children, from the name itself, you know what is oxidation and reduction. Oxidation is loss of electron or gain of oxygen, whereas reduction is gain of electron and loss of oxygen, children. Now here in the titrimetric analysis, what we are going to do is we are going to titrate. Okay, the titration is a procedure. So it is a procedure of carefully controlled addition of the reagent, that is your titrant, to the analyte. Okay children, so analyte, you can see in the screen, it is mentioned, it is usually in a conical flask whose concentration is unknown. Okay children, and the known concentration substance is called a standard substance, which we usually take it in a burette. Okay children, so this you need to remember, that in the burette we will fill the solution with known concentration and unknown concentration solution will be filled in the conical flask. Known concentration is our reagent or a titrant, whereas unknown solution is our analyte. Okay children, now in this you can see the equipment, children. In the volumetric analysis, what type of equipments we are using. The first equipment we are using here is pipette. Now what is a pipette? Pipette is a long tube. Okay, in this pipette is used for measuring accurate and precise volume of the solution. Okay, in the further video I have described all the apparatus in detail, so I will send you the same video. So this pipette what we are using is actually already standardized, and it is already a glass pipette, which is standardized one, which is provided to us. Now it has a 5 ml pipette, 10 ml pipette, and then 25 ml pipette. Okay, so in our laboratory we are using 25 ml of the pipette. Now further, the next is burette. Burette is made up of glass as well as fiber. Now what it is used for? It is used for pouring the measured volume of the solution, but in the burette what we are going to fill is our reagent whose concentration is known to us. Then in the conical flask we will mix the two solution. Okay, that means the solution whose already concentration is unknown to us, we will put it in the conical flask, and from the burette also we are going to add the reagent, so the two solutions will mix. Now what are wash bottles, children? These contain distilled water. So in the laboratory you can come and just see that we have a plastic type of white colored wash bottles in which distilled water is filled. It is used for cleansing purpose. Then we have a funnel. Funnel is used for transferring the liquids without spilling it out. So in the burette, whenever you have to fill the solution, you will be filling with the help of a funnel. Then we have volumetric flask. It is used to make up the accurate volume of the solution of the known concentration. Children, this volumetric flask we don't use here in class 12th. Okay children, it is only used to prepare the solutions, but now you are getting already prepared solutions, so you don't have to prepare the solutions. Then the next is our volumetric or titrimetric analysis, which I have already explained you. It is a titration between the known concentration and unknown concentration. Now what are the terms used in the volumetric analysis is your standard solution whose concentration is known to you. The titrate is a substance which is being titrated, and titrant is usually a standard solution only. So you can see here what is a standard solution. A solution of accurately known strength is known as a standard solution. Now in this, the solution may be expressed in terms of normality also and molarity also. So this standard solution will be provided to you, and whose concentration will be known to you also. Okay children, now here the standard solution is a solution whose concentration will never change. That means if you keep the solution for even 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, then the concentration will never change. Whereas the primary solution is a solution whose concentration usually goes on changing, like NaOH. It is a hygroscopic substance. So NaOH will absorb what moisture, yes or no? So hence its concentration may change after 1 week. So we have a standard solution whose concentration cannot be changed. So hence they are highly pure reagents of highest stability, and they are used to prepare the standard solution. Okay children, now the titration process. Now see, this is the titration part. Okay, it is the process of addition of standard solution from the burette to the unknown concentration taken in the conical flask. As I have explained you, the reaction between the reagent and the analyte. So titrant, you can see it is marked here in the in front of burette. It is marked in green. This is the titrant, and here below conical flask, which is pink in color, it is a titrate. So titration is the reaction between titrant and the titrate. Okay children, now children, further we have titrant. So we are going to fill the titrant in the burette, and the titrant is the one whose concentration is known to us. Then titrate is a substance which is being titrated, okay, and it is always taken in the conical flask. Its concentration is not known to us. Then now what is the end point or equivalence? When we are doing the titration between two reagents, two reactants, children, so there should be end point, or there should be a point where the reaction should complete. Like simple example I am giving you here is, children, let us take the example between our say NaOH and HCl. Both of them are colorless solution. Okay children, now it is a neutralization reaction because it is base reacting with an acid. NaOH is a base reacting with HCl acid. So base and acid, whenever it will react, it will give you a neutralization reaction. Now children, both the solutions are colorless. So how we will come to know that the reaction has occurred? Now experimentally we have to find out. So we usually add an indicator, children, to indicate the change in the color. So you know that if we have HCl, okay, and if we add phenolphthalein to it, it will remain colorless. But when you add NaOH from the burette, so it will start turning pink. So uniformly the solution color should change. Now in this screen you can see here there is a color change shown in the solution of the of the conical flask. Initially it was yellow, now it is what, reddish type. Okay, so here the end point is the point in which will tell you the reaction between the titrant and titrant is just complete. Now this end point will be done, or which will be shown to you only with the help of indicator. Okay, we require indicator. Now, what is an endpoint? Endpoint is also called the equivalence point or stoichiometric point, which means the conclusion of the chemical reaction. Now, here we have to see the stoichiometry also. That means balancing of the equation should be done. Now, it is a point where no more titrant is required and the reaction is complete. Now, further you will stop addition of the further reagent or the titrant from the burette. Now, further you will not add anything. Now, in this children, we have let us discuss about the first titration. What we are going to do is oxalic acid versus KMnO4. So what are the materials required, children? We have oxalic acid, potassium permanganate solution, sulfuric acid. We have a chemical balance to weigh the salt and KMnO4 and prepare the solution. That you don't have to do. Then we have burette stand, pipette, conical flask, funnel, measuring flask, weighing bottle, white tile. Okay, then we have a burner and then we have a wire gauze. Okay, so these are all the materials which will be required during the titration. So I am giving you just one example. Say we are doing a redox titration, which is the titration between oxalic acid and KMnO4. Now, here see the apparatus, setup of the apparatus. In the burette, what we are going to take is KMnO4 solution. In the conical flask, what we are going to add is oxalic acid. Now, children, here in the screen it is mentioned 10 ml, but you will follow your own procedure which will be provided to you. So, in the conical flask, you will add oxalic acid along with sulfuric acid. Now, here we do not require any indicator because KMnO4 is already a self-indicator. Now, end point will be, now what should be the end point of our titration? As we are adding phenolphthalein in oxalic acid, it is an acid, so the color of the solution oxalic acid will be colorless only initially on addition. Okay, sorry, we are not adding phenolphthalein, sorry, oxalic acid, so it is an acid, so it is a colorless acid. So when you will start adding KMnO4 from the burette, as you can see in the 1, 2 and 3, see initially you will see a drop of pink color in the conical flask. Then in the second conical flask, you can see that the drop is being more brighter, and in the third you can see now the whole solution has uniformly turned pink. So this will indicate you the end point. That means pale permanent pink color will indicate the end point of the titration. Now here further, children, let us see the theory behind the titration of oxalic acid versus KMnO4. Children, first point is the KMnO4 reacts with oxalic acid. So it is a redox type of a reaction because KMnO4 is an oxidizing agent and oxalic acid is a reducing agent. Now, the next point, KMnO4 is a oxidizing agent in all the mediums like acidic, basic or neutral medium. Now, KMnO4 is the strongest oxidizing agent in the acidic medium. Hence, in the conical flask, when you will add oxalic acid plus sulfuric acid, so sulfuric acid, when it will get reacted with KMnO4, it will behave as a more strong oxidizing agent and it will oxidize the oxalic acid. Okay, children, it will bring the oxidation in the other substance. Now here the titration between oxalic acid and KMnO4 is a slow, hence therefore the heat of the oxalic acid solution, we need to heat. You will see in the procedure it may be mentioned that warm the solution up to 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. Okay, children. Now this is only the theory behind the redox titration of oxalic acid versus KMnO4. Now here you can see the ionic equation, children. Now there are two ionic equations because it is a redox type of a reaction. Hence there will be two parts. One is reduction half and the other one is oxidation half. Now in the overall reaction or the equation, you can see MnO4 is getting converted into Mn2 plus ions. So initially it was purple color and now it has turned to pink. Now the color of the solution, that means oxalic acid is colorless. Now the colorless solution should turn to light pink color. Okay, this is our end point, and the indicator KMnO4 acts as a self indicator. Now children, here you can see the observation table. This type of observation table you have to draw. Now just see, In the observation table, children, the burette reading, we have to take two readings, initial and final. Initial reading will be always 0.040, okay, whereas final reading will be the volume which we are adding from the burette. जैसे कि तुमने स्टार्ट किया जीरो से, now you are adding, going on adding the solution, so you will reach to the end point. Now your end point is say 23.5 ml, the next end point will be 23.6. You have to perform the titration 3 times. Okay children, so whatever will be your constant reading, that will be your titer value, children. So here you can see 23.6 is our constant reading, so hence we will use it as our titer value. Now children, when you are making this observation table, you can see here in the burette reading it is mentioned ml. When you write the ml at the top, so every time you need not write ml every time. Okay children, like here we are writing the reading 0.0, so you will not write ml or cm cube every time. You have to mention only ml or cm cube once at the top, or when you are writing the burette reading. This is how you have to form the table. Now what is the volume of the KMnO4 used from the burette is our final volume, that is 23.5, 23.6, 23.6. Now what is the end point? It is a constant value at which you will get the color change. The color change should be constant, okay, at a specific value. Say our titer value is now 23.6. now here you can see the capacity of the pipette used is 25 ml and the titer value is 23.6. this you need to remember. Okay children, now, so I hope that you have understood till here. This is only just a theory part of our titration, children. I will send you the video how to perform. Thank you. Hello, good morning dear students. Okay, today I am going to explain you about the volumetric analysis, children. Before I will send you the theory part of this thing. Okay, so today we are going to see the apparatus part. Children, this is our burette stand. This is our burette stand, and children, here we have our burette. Okay children, now this burette is made up of fiber as well as glass. Okay, so in our lab we are using usually fiber one. Children, this is the knob. Can you see this? This is the knob of the this burette. Okay, now on this burette, just see, can you see the mark here is given 0? Can you see the mark is given 0 over here? Okay, on this burette you can see the mark is from 0 and here the mark is 50. Okay, it is up till 50, and this way you can open, this way you can open, and this is how you will close the burette. Okay children, now in this we have this conical flask. Okay children, this is our conical flask. We have pipette, children. So children, this is the measuring cylinder. Okay, this is our measuring cylinder, and this is the pipette what we are using. Okay children, this is the pipette what we are using. This pipette is of 25 ml. You can see it is of 25 ml. It has a mark over here. It has a mark on this. Okay children, on this pipette we have a mark. So this mark will tell you that this much solution has to be filled in the pipette. Now children, what you will do is, firstly you will take the burette, okay children, and you will rinse it with the same solution what you are going to use it in this burette. Say I am using KMnO4, so what I will do is I will bring it to the near of my eyes. I will observe this way, add a small amount of KMnO4, up 3 to 4 ml of KMnO4, hold thumb over here and just tilt this. Okay, rinse the burette with the same solution what you are going to fill. So I have rinsed it, because if any unnecessary impurity or any water molecule or any other thing is present, so this way you will open the knob and discard the solution. Okay, now I have closed the knob. Now there are two ways to fill. If you have a very good height, you can adjust it on the burette and then put it with the help of a funnel. Okay children, see, this is your funnel. This is your funnel. So what I am going to do is I will place the funnel here. I have closed the knob from here. So what I am going to do, with the help of the funnel, I am adding the solution. Now you don't have to measure it. You can add some extra volume. You can add some extra volume, okay, because we have to remove the bubble from the tip. Now see, this tip is empty. Can you see? है ना, ये empty नहीं होनी चाहिए. There should be no air bubble in the tip also. So what you will do is you will adjust this solution in such a way that there should be no air bubble here. So just rotate the knob. Sometimes after rotating also you can see here at the tip there is a air gap. This air gap should not be there. To remove this error, what we are going to do is again just rotate it. Okay. Now see, I have rotated this. Okay children. Now see, you don't see any air bubble in this. There is no air bubble. इसमें कहीं पे भी air bubble नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है तुमको, ठीक है? Now see, the measurement has gone below 0. So what I will do is again I will bring it to the near of my eyes, okay? Near to your eyes, and just pour it slowly. Slowly pour it and make the meniscus, okay? It will be a solution is our colored solution, hence we will see the upper meniscus children. I have already explained you about upper and lower meniscus. Okay, so this solution is colored, so I have made it as upper meniscus. Okay, now see here, I will adjust it. Just press the burette from here, adjust this, okay, adjust this burette. Okay, I have adjusted the burette to this. Okay children, now just bring it slowly below. You have to see whether the mark is up till there or not. So just slightly just go up and your eyes should be able to see the mark. So see, अभी मेरा height थोड़ा सा कम है. So what I am doing is I am just bringing it below near to my eyes and just checking this mark is 0 should be your upper meniscus. So I have adjusted this upper meniscus. So what I will do is just place this above. So I have filled KMnO4 solution, okay, KMnO4 solution in the burette. Now the strength of KMnO4 will be known to you. We will fill only that solution whose strength is known to us in the burette. Okay. Now this is our conical flask children. In this conical flask you will take the solution whose concentration is unknown to you. So we are performing oxalic acid versus KMnO4 solution titration. It is an oxidation reduction titration. So the theory says that KMnO4 is an oxidizing agent, okay, as well as it is a self indicator. So for this titration we do not require any another indicator. So I have prepared oxalic acid solution children. So we will prepare now this oxalic acid is a reducing agent. So oxidizing agent versus reducing agent, when it will react, the reaction will be oxidation reduction type of a reaction, that is a redox reaction. So hence this titration is also known as a redox type of a titration. So one thing you have to remember about the error, you have to rinse the solution, rinse the burette with the same solution to remove any impurity, but we will not rinse this conical flask children, because somewhat 1-2 drops will be left, because this is an unknown solution what we are going to pour in this conical flask. So there should be no extra amount. So what you will do is children, with the help of this pipette we will suck out 25 ml. So see here, what you will do is you will rinse this pipette also, because this pipette may contain some impurity. Just suck 2-3 ml and with the help of index finger, see, just release the pressure and rinse the pipette and discard the same solution. 2 to 3 ml solution you are going to take, you have to discard. Again what you will do is, now your pipette you have rinsed it properly, you will not blow this pipette. ऐसे करके तुम blow नहीं करोगे, because this tip has some solution left at the tip. So you don't think that you have to remove it, because it is a standardized pipette, and this volume which is left over here, we do not usually remove it, and you don't have to blow. When you will blow, the standardization will get disturbed. So what you will do is, again you just put it into the solution with the help of your mouth. Now suck the solution above the mark, and with the help of index finger hold it tightly. Now what you have to do is, you have to adjust till the mark, and the mark is here where I have kept my finger. Okay, so तुम क्या करोगे, धीरे धीरे अपने इंडेक्स फिंगर का जो है प्रेशर रिलीज करोगे चिल्ड्रन. नाउ दिस सोल्यूशन ऑक्सैलिक एसिड इज अ कलरलेस सोल्यूशन. तो कलरलेस सोल्यूशन है, तो हम इसका लोअर मिनिस्कस देखेंगे. वी विल सी द लोअर मिनिस्कस. सो आई हैव रिलीज द प्रेशर एंड नाउ आई हैव एडजस्टेड. नाउ कैन you see here, this mark is up till this, the solution is filled up till this mark, and I have adjusted till the lower meniscus because it is a colorless solution. Now what you do is, just take this, okay, whatever you will do with the pipette, you have to adjust it with your index finger only children. Okay, now just tilt it. Okay, you will not blow the solution. So I have added 25 ml of the oxalic acid solution. Now children, in our laboratory we have a pipette of 25 ml. In exam you may get the option of 20 versus 25 ml, but we are preferring 25 ml of our pipette. Now in this, the further procedure says that we have to add dilute sulfuric acid, and that is 20 ml of the sulfuric acid. So here I am adding 20 ml. Okay, now this sulfuric acid will be already prepared for you. So I am just taking out 25 ml in the measuring, I am just taking out 20 ml in the measuring cylinder. Okay, in the measuring cylinder I have taken out 20 ml of the sulfuric acid solution. Now just slightly pour the sulfuric acid solution. Now you all know that sulfuric acid is also an oxidizing agent. KMnO4 is also an oxidizing agent. So the during the titration it becomes a very strong oxidizing agent. Okay, so it will be reacting with a reducing agent, that is our oxalic acid children. Now see, this procedure further tells us to heat or warm the solution up till 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. Now children, why we have to actually heat the solution is because the reaction is slow. So to make the reaction fast, we have to warm the solution. Now till what temperature we have to warm is, that is your 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. But how you will come to know that the solution has been warmed up till 50 to 60 degrees Celsius? When you will keep the solution for warming on this burner, so there will be some vapors rising. So when you will observe some vapors on the walls of this conical flask, so assume that it is around about 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, because we cannot take thermometer every time here. So then you just start the titrating. Okay, the hot solution only you have to start. Okay, titrating, you don't have to cool it. So what you will do is, see here I have adjusted this tip till here only. You don't have to insert the tip inside. This is the wrong method. Then see, you have two hands. One right hand से हम conical flask पकड़ेंगे. You will hold the conical flask with the right hand, and with the left hand you will hold the tip of this burette. Now what you will do is, you will adjust the flow of your burette with this solution with the help of your left hand, and slowly you just keep on vigorously shaking the solution. You have to vigorously shake the solution. So this way how you will vigorously shake. Now see, I have not warmed the solution. So initially at a few mLs only you will say that miss, it has turned pink. Children, it is not turned pink. See how vigorously I am shaking. This way you have to shake the solution so that there is uniform reaction taking place between the reactants. Okay, so what you will do is, and you have to see that during shaking the solution should not be thrown out. Okay, or it should not come out of this conical flask. See how vigorously I am shaking. So here what you will do is, you will vigorously shake. Now this is actually a white surface only children, so we don't require a tile in this. Usually if it is not a white surface, then you can keep a tile or instead you can keep one white paper. Now see the solution का जो color है children, it has gone, it has not came, this reaction has not yet completed. So because KMnO4 is a self indicator, so we don't require any extra indicator. So what we are going to do is, now we are going to adjust the flow and then we will vigorously shake the solution. Now usually children, we have prepared the solution, so I know what is the reading for the solution. Say the reading of the solution may be 25 centimeter cube. So what I will do is, up till 20 I am adding, okay, directly. I am just showing you this, okay. So you will add it up till 20, okay. After 20 children, you will adjust the flow. Now see again, you have to vigorously shake the solution, okay. So I am just shaking vigorously, just to place all the solutions aside so that it may not get disturbed, okay. Now see here, see again the color has gone children, the color has gone. Now slowly, because I have already added 20 ml, now adjust the flow rate of the solution with the help of your left hand, slowly as you are comfortable, okay. Just slowly then shake the solution, okay, vigorously. Along with this you have to shake. Now when you are shaking children, at the center जब तुम शेक करोगे तो बीच में तुमको सोल्यूशन के एक कलर दिख रहा होगा कि वो कैसे है, पिंक कलर का एक सोल्यूशन फॉर्म हो रहा है एट द सेंटर. नाउ दिस पिंक कलर इज टू बी फॉर्म्ड यूनिफॉर्मली थ्रू आउट, ओके चिल्ड्रन, इट हैज टू बी यूनिफॉर्मली seen throughout. So till the time you don't get that uniform color, light pink color, and this light pink color should persist up till 15 to 30 seconds, okay. So till the time it does not uniformly forms a light pink color, you have to shake this, okay. So this is how I am shaking vigorously. Again see the color has gone. So till now it is 24 centimeter cube and maybe the reading may have not yet arrived, okay. So what you have to do is, still you have to perform till the time you don't get the reading, okay. Now the first reading may be between 24 to 25. पहली रीडिंग कभी भी करेक्ट नहीं हो सकती, मे बी वो 24 से 25 के बीच में से. नाउ द रीडिंग मे बी, आई एम जस्ट शोइंग यू, okay. See again the color has gone children. So till the time the color should stay, okay. If the color disappears, that means endpoint is not yet occurred, okay. So what you have to do is, you have to slowly add and vigorously shake till the time the endpoint arrives, okay. See on shaking the color solution is becoming colorless, so you need to add, okay. Now see slowly you will add and one time will arrive. See now on shaking also the color of the solution will persist up till 15 to 30 seconds. On shaking it will not go. So this is how the light pink color will come. Now you have to note down your reading children. Now say my reading is something 25.1, okay. My reading is 25.1. So see here, every time you will not get the same reading और सबको एक reading नहीं मिल सकती है. So see this is the light pink color. See how light pink it is, and on shaking also the color is not disappearing. So that means your end point has arrived. This is how you have to perform the titration children, okay. Now see your reading may be 20, कभी तुमको 3 concurrent readings लेनी है. Reading may be 25.1, 25.3 and again 25.3. Now you are confused which reading you have to assume. So you will take that reading which you are getting repeatedly same. So say 25.3 मुझे 2 बार मिल गई है, तो दो बार जो मुझे रीडिंग मिली है, that we have to write, okay. That and then further all the theory details we will send you how you have to write. I hope that you have understood this redox titration of KMnO4 versus oxalic acid. If any doubt, then you can ask. Thank you.